Welcome back everybody to episode 16 in our F1 Manager 22 career mode. It's Dario Franchitti being the boss of AlphaTauri. Got a few things going on today. We got the new aerodynamic testing period, so we can put in some research. We also voted on the new regulations last time out, which was a financial change. We voted in favour of it. It's reducing the cost cap by 5 mil. So we said, sure, let's do that. Might shake up the driver market a little bit. Maybe. So as you can see, the new aero testing period starts today. I think there is another one. Yes, there is another one at the end of October. Is that the last one? That is the last one, I think. Yes, it is. Aero testing 6 ends. So we are going to... We have 2 testing periods to develop our remaining 4 parts for next year's car. So we're going to get a start on 2 of these today. The chassis and the side pods are the 2 we've already done. So I think we're going to do the underfloor and suspension this time round. So we've got 56 days. We're going to focus half of this as per usual. Okay, so underfloor goes there, that's fine. We've got 9 mil there to do. If we also want to design something, I was thinking maybe suspension. So let's see how many days the suspension takes. It takes 18. So that basically means we got, what, 36 days to match the other one? We can probably do that. Let's have a look at a front wing. Okay, yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to do here. No, we want suspension. What am I doing? We could do it in 12 days. That would work, I think. Yeah, I think that would work quite nicely. So we're going to do this one. I'm going to rush a suspension. So all our scouts are back. We scouted Lando Norris, Mick Schumacher, Dennis Hauger, and Dirk de Beer. So we've sent our scouts out. As you can see, they're going to be coming back in 30 days. We are scouting one driver, Frederick Vesti. He's a 20-year-old, currently racing in the F2 series. I think he was at 71 or 72 overall. So we're going to scout him. We are going to scout Xavier, who is the Ferrari race mechanic. I believe it's for Carlos Sainz, but I could be wrong. He's not interested in joining, but we'll scout him anyway. He's at a 84 overall. Jared Murphy, the technical chief, I believe, for Mercedes. Again, not interested, so we'll scout him anyway. I think he was an 83 overall. And then Haas's head of aero, Simone Resta, who is interested in joining, and I think he was 81 overall. So we'll scout these guys just to see what they're like. If they're an improvement on what we currently have, then great. We do have a fresh gearbox ready to go. We got 7 races left in the season. I don't know if we'll be able to make that work for 7 races. Probably not. We might need to take a new one, but we'll worry about that later on. Pierre is probably going to take his new stuff, I think, for this race, because I'm thinking Monza should be a little easier to overtake on. So we'll give him a new ERS, or should we give him a new engine? How good is his engine? His engine looks fine, doesn't it? Okay, so maybe we'll just give him a new ERS for this one. That might work. So a new gearbox and a new ERS for Pierre. Probably incur a penalty for the ERS, but he should not incur a penalty for the gearbox. I will catch you at the track.
Welcome to Life in the Fast Lane. We're here at Monza in Italy, the home of Ferrari. But who will take home the points this weekend? Let's find out as we get started with the Italian Grand Prix. Monza, a centurion among circuits, dripping with motorsport history. Expect to see cars fly by as 80% of the track is tackled at full throttle. It's not all go, however, and brakes can be prone to overheating through the tight chicanes that Monza has to offer. This is it. We're down to the last few races of the season, and it's time for that final push. Who will be crowned champion at the end of it all? We'll find out soon enough. The competition is on.
So it looks like we're in for a completely dry weekend here. No wet weather reported for Friday, Saturday or Sunday, with Sunday looking like the best conditions, only partly cloudy. Not much else to do really, so I will catch you after practice.
Someone spun out. Let's have a look. Daniel Ricciardo involved here. What a spin! I think there's been a lock-up. Here's the replay. Now let's look at this. The focus on Tsunoda. It's a lock-up, and that could be costly. Did somebody spin out there? Let's take a look at the replay. Now just focus on the Haas. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The car's just gone. Oh, there's a spin! We can take a look now. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon. And that spin is undoubtedly going to cost them time. Sounds like a spin. Let's have a look. Okay, so there we have the Alpine. They lose it there. That's the spin. Oh, did someone run wide there? Let's take a closer look. Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri driver involved. That looked like a very nasty spin. And that was a bitter blow for the team, and it may have really hurt their overall chances.
I made a big fast call. I gotta cool down.
Copy.
And that's a lock-up. Here's the replay. Now let's look at this. The focus on Tsunoda. That lock-up could have cost them dearly. Thank you for joining us here today. Once practice is over, qualifying will be underway, and then the fight for pole begins. Drivers will need to perform with remarkable consistency if they're to secure a strong position on tomorrow's grid. It's not just about one moment of brilliance. No, they'll need to prove over the course of qualifying that they have what it takes to occupy those coveted places. So get yourselves comfortable. It's going to be quite the ride. Oh, we've had a spin. Let's take a look at the replay. Watch this. There's Leclerc. Look at that. They've spun their car. Sounds like we've had a spin. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. And there it is. That's where they spin out.
Right, end of all three practice sessions, and a pretty good time for us actually. We were able to get into the top 5 in pretty much all the sessions. As you can see, we did a whole bunch of laps this time round. Yuki did a couple more because he was a little behind on his track acclimatization. I think we got Pierre up to 84 or 85%, and Yuki was, in the end, a couple below that. We managed to max out our setups, 100% for each driver, and we are looking pretty good. There were a few incidents in the practice sessions. No crashes. There was a few spins. Yuki also locked up a couple times. The weirdest one was a spin by, I think it was Kevin Magnussen, and he had one of the Red Bulls on the outside of him when he spun. So essentially it straightened him back up and he just kept on going. So I haven't seen that before in the game, but that was pretty funny. As you can see, Pierre does have his penalty. We put in a fresh engine component for him. The ERS and the engine, I think. And also the gearbox. So he has 100% for everything. And while the gearbox is within the allocation, both the ERS and the engine is not. So he's going to be starting a bit further back. So hopefully Yuki can get us into Q3. But we'll have to wait and see. I just realized I completely forgot to show you the rest of the Practice 3 results. So there you go. The bottom 10, led by Lando Norris. Hamilton did not have a particularly good time of things, but I wouldn't be too worried about that because George is right up there, so there's confirmation of the qualifying 1 results. We get both our guys through pretty comfortably. We got about half a second for Yuki, and he's currently in the top 10, so we might be able to get both cars through into Q3, but we'll have to see on that. Usual suspects being knocked out there. The 2 Astons, the 2 Williams, and the Haas, but this time it's Magnussen and not Mick Schumacher, who pips his teammate by 1/10 of a second. Lewis actually still looks pretty slow in comparison to George. He might be a little worried about that. He's got 4/10. That's a decent chunk for those 2 guys. We'll see what Q2 brings. Okay, end of qualifying 2, and we just squeaked both drivers through there. Yuki on his last lap. It was the last man out there as well. He was able to find just enough time to jump up from 12th to 10th. So the top 10, pretty much as you would expect. The only real surprise, I guess you could say, is Esteban is behind Lando. But other than that, it's a reasonably familiar top 10. Obviously, Pierre with his penalty is going to be starting at the back, so it was pretty critical to get Yuki in there and be able to guarantee that we have at least 1 car in the top 10 and satisfy our qualifying objectives. Let's see how far up the grid we can get him, eh? Okay, that's a wrap on qualifying, and Verstappen puts the thing on pole and ruins Ferrari's homecoming, as they have to settle for 2nd and 3rd there, with Perez completing the 2nd row. Pierre, we can obviously ignore right now. Pretty good effort there, though, to qualify P5 just in front of George Russell, 0.02 of a second there, pretty close. But he will start at the back. So Russell gets promoted to 5th, Alonso 6th, Bottas 7th, Hamilton 8th, Yuki 9th, and then it'll be Esteban who starts alongside Yuki in the 5th row. We don't know what the penalty is for Lando, but he's probably starting at the back with Pierre. But overall, pretty happy with that qualifying effort. Yuki nearly managed to outqualify Lewis there. Didn't quite find enough time on his last ditch lap. He improved in the 1st and 3rd sectors, but his 2nd sector was a little bit slower than his best. But pretty close, just over 100th of a second, so Alonso did a really good lap. I'm not going to begrudge that. That was a cracking effort for Fernando there. Be interesting to see whether or not he can hang with the Mercedes come race day. But overall,
Drivers are strapping themselves in, ready for race day.
AlphaTauri did rather well in qualifying. Let's see if they can manage to achieve a strong start for the race itself. We saw a reasonable push from Mercedes in qualifying, and they'll have plenty of opportunities here to achieve a great result. And the weather is sunny here today, apart from a few clouds. Let's hope they remain scattered on the horizon.
Well, this is going to be one thrilling Italian Grand Prix, and we're nearly ready to kick things off.
Okay, I'm going to go with this. I think for our position gain reward, we need to find one spot with Yuki. I think he can do that as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. And we're going to go 12th for Pierre. I reckon we'll be able to get him up. We should be able to get into the points, but because we're going to be pushing really aggressive with the tires and have to stop that second time, we might not be able to get there. So I'm going to put him on 12th and we'll go from there, I think. I'd love it if we can get both guys in the points. That'd be amazing. And the other reason that we're going to go with 12th for Pierre is because that's where we need to finish to get our race bonus target. So I figured, well, if we can get that, then no reason why we can't try for the position gain. It's a lot of money. It's basically an extra 700 grand, so hopefully we can pull it off.
The drivers there lined up on the grid under mostly sunny skies. And here's Yuki Tsunoda. They might not be in the top 3 spots, but things could change fast once the race gets underway. Next for the team, it's Pierre Gasly. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. The race start is mere seconds away. Here we go. It's the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
I see a good mix of mediums and softs there. Gasly's the only one on hards, so I'm going to focus on Yuki for now. He's already dropped a spot. The soft compound tires are pretty bad for Bottas, Alonso, Sainz and Perez though. Trying to get around Valtteri. I think he might have made that work actually. Good move, Yuki. Okay, I'm going to try and save the tires for him for now. And we are just chilling right now. I see Alonso and Russell going side by side there, so that'll help us a little bit. I'm going to take this off deploy, I think, to save some ERS. And see if we can just use the brute force of the tyre. To get past with Pierre. Bottas is having a look. We're still within 6/10 though of Alonso and George. And as long as we can stay there, I think we'll be fine. They're going to have to pit super early because their softs are pretty much dead. Okay, so this is good. We are right there with them now. Gasly's up to P15, a couple seconds behind K-Mag. I'm going to go back to neutral for him on the battery.
Here's the replay. Now look at this. It's Pierre Gasly. They've gained multiple positions. It's looking good for them. The team watching on and clearly loving that.
Yeah, it was a bit like Moses there. The seas just parted for him and he just went straight past, or between, both of the Aston Martins. Handy. See, what I'm hoping is that this little train of the four of us will be able to pull away from Zhou, Hamilton, and Ocon. And I guess Mick Schumacher, because he's in that little fight too. We got a second and a half. The biggest worry that we're going to have, I think, is if Hamilton gets past and cleanly gets past and can just pull that train with him. How is our tyre looking? It's about where we expect it to be. So that's fine. So I'm going to save the tyre, I think, for Yuki right now. See if we can get this home, eh? On just the one stop. How are the softs looking? 70%. Yeah, that's pretty ordinary, eh? It's only Fernando, though. Russell is on a set of the mediums as well. Oh, Bottas is on a set of the softs as well. Okay. Did not know that. Good to know. Now, I think we might go standard, actually, for Pierre as well. Since he's basically caught up. 2.5 seconds. Or should we not? Ricciardo got back around him though. And we'll see where we go. We'll keep it on that, I think, for now. Oh, Yuki had a look at Fernando there.
Someone spun out. Let's take a closer look. Now we see the Williams here. And yes, that's where they spin out.
Oh, he was in front of his teammate there. Okay, we're out of ERS there, so I'm going to go back on... Actually, while we're behind Ricciardo, we may as well harvest a bit, eh? Do that. Might harvest a little bit with Yuki as well. It's Red Bull 1-2 at the front, and they got about a second on their Ferraris. Ocon spun, that'll help us.
Okay, so there we have the Alpine. And this, yes, this is where they spun out.
Yeah, there goes Pierre. There's a free spot.
The team are really disappointed with that. Let's hope it doesn't set them back too badly.
It'll make it a bit easy for us to get up to 12th now. We need to clear those guys though. Yeah, Russell's now 10 seconds behind there. Hamilton's 4.5, but he's only got Zhou now. They're still fighting though. So we have matched where we said we were going to be, right? Because we're P11 for Pierre, and we needed 12th. Oh, is he going to have a look at both of them? Yuki, round the outside. Come on, son. Get around him. Come on, Yuki. Ah.
Copy.
Didn't quite work out. That's fine. We'll go back to neutral for him. He has 4 seconds behind there. We'll go back to standard. How are we looking on tyres? Pretty good. And pretty good. So if we can get to basically like lap 30 and 25, then we'll be golden, I'd reckon. I think we're going to let George go here. I'm going to go on light and see if we can save a tiny bit of tyre here. Perez and Sainz are in. They were both on the softs as well. Fernando and Bottas are in as well. We're up to P4. So yeah, I'm just going to chill here, I think, for now. Gasly's got Carlos behind him. Alright, I need to go back on standard with him now. Got to make sure we stay in DRS range with George. Otherwise our race is screwed. Because I think...
Here's the replay. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon. It's a lockup. And that could be costly. blow to the team. Will they be able to recover? We'll see.
Yeah, as I was just about to say, I think George in the Mercedes is quicker than Bottas and Fernando. Okay, so I'm going to go back to light for Yuki. Try and save those tyres a bit.
Okay.
I'm not overly worried about Pierre right now, because I think we'll be able to get that back. But I'm pretty happy with how we're going right now. Alonso's not going too bad. He's battling with Bottas, though Vettel's up there too. I'm going to go back to standard with him.
Was that a lock-up on the track? We can take a look now. Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one. That lock-up could have cost them dearly.
Ooh, bit of an error from Lewis there.
The team had such high hopes today. What a shame.
How much time did he lose? Not much. He's still 4.4. So Magnussen and Alonso and Bottas are all on me. They're going to have to stop again.
Mercedes moved up a place.
So Perez is nearly caught up to us. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pit Yuki. Jump on the set of hards. And push, I think. Oh, Sergio around the outside. Yeah, I'm going to box Yuki, I think, now. We are halfway through the race. He's probably going to come out around Bottas and Alonso. Let's see how we go. This is going to be our one and only stop. Because Bottas and Alonso were both on the soft compounds. They're going to mediums. I don't think they're going to get to the end on these. It's going to be a bit of a stretch for them. There he goes. I see Bottas coming down the thing. I see Magnussen there as well. There goes one, there's two, there's three. Because of course Magnussen is in range of Fernando. He's dropped out of range of Valtteri though, I see that. I'm going to go at him. I think we are slightly better than the Ferrari. Maybe. Here we are. Okay, we are there. So now we're going to see if we can do anything with Fernando. We're going to the end though on these tyres. The guys in front, I don't think will be able to make it. Pierre's going to keep going for a decent amount of time here. You know what? I'm going to go aggressive with Pierre actually. Here's Fernando. I think Fernando got the DRS then, actually. He did. This might help us catch up to Valtteri. Actually, I think we might have. Fernando's just about there. I know it's been a pretty dull race. We've only been watching Yuki, so we might switch over to Pierre soon, but he's still 4 seconds behind Lewis. Neither of us have stopped though, have we? No. So they're going to go medium softs then, aren't they? Lewis is in. Okay, well let's see what Lewis... Yeah, Lewis is going on a set of softs. Interesting. 22 laps. It's a big one. We're probably going to do that reasonably soon, but not right now. Yuki overtakes Fernando. Let's push these tyres a little. So where's Lewis emerge? Lewis is 3 seconds behind Zhou Guan Yu and 3.5 in front of Ricciardo. So I'm going to just push with Pierre for as long as we can, and then we'll swap over to a set of the softs, I think. We are in range of Valtteri now, so I'm going to go back to standard with Tsunoda's tyres. I'm not worried about the fuel. We look like we're pretty good on fuel. So George is in. Okay, so now we get to see where he is in regards to Yuki. He's on the softs as well. Gonna be a bit behind, I think, isn't he? Yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go aggressive, I think.
Okay, copy that.
We'll see where we are. We'll probably be around Ricciardo, I'd say. Maybe behind Ricciardo, actually. Ricciardo and Mick. There's Lewis. Oh, there's Ricciardo and Mick and somebody. Oh, Lando. We might get in front of those guys, actually. We will. I think we're going to get in front of these guys. It's going to be tight. We're with them. Okay, but we have soft compound tires.
Okay, keep it clean. Focus on the pace.
So let's go aggressive. See if we can get past Mick.
Let's go for a push. Yeah.
Dives it up the inside. Oh, what a move. What a move by Pierre there. Up to P11. Ah, he's going to catch that up. That's fine. We'll go back to standard. We might be able to catch Zhou up naturally anyway, because we are 2 compounds softer, right? The hards versus the softs, so we'll probably be able to catch him regardless. We got 13 laps and 5 seconds. I'm going to push this, see if we can break out of DRS range of Mick Schumacher. 1.3 seconds. Yeah, I think we've done it. Good on you, Pierre. Okay, back to standard you go. And we will check in with you later, Pierre Gasly. So what is George's tyres on, by the way? George has 65% tyre, so has... Oh, sorry, Lewis has got 61 and Pierre's got 81, so he can push a bit. George and Lewis are probably going to have to save a tiny amount here, whereas we do not. How is our tyres looking now? 73 versus 54. So we are looking a lot better. We've got a Williams in front of us. He should get out of the way, and he has. Oh, we are in DRS range. We're going to tell him to go for it. Should get DRS down here. I'm going to click on overtake here. Let's see what we can do about Sir Lewis Hamilton. So you know what? I'm going to go a little bit aggressive on Yuki as well.
Okay, look after the battery, Pierre. We're very low now. Okay.
Okay, we're going to go and save a tiny bit here. I don't know how Verstappen's going to go. Verstappen might lose this race, because I don't think he's going to be able to make... Because once you hit 30%, you start slowing down. Russell gets around Yuki, that's fine. At some stage, they're going to have to start conserving. I think George might just about do this. Lewis is going to be struggling. Yeah, he's dropped way back. He's like a good 4 seconds behind Zhou. Yeah, 4.5. Okay.
Verstappen over the finish line.
Okay, Verstappen hung on.
Let's see what happened there. And there's the checkered flag. Max Verstappen is our winner.
What an amazing finish to a thrilling race. It's a real testament to their skill and the team's engineering.
Well done to Max there. Managed to hang on with 27% tyres. There you go. Yeah, Lewis is done. George is on. I think he's going to hang on. I think Yuki is going to just about do this. Got a good run out. He's pushing. Got it.
Checker flag, checker flag.
Good job, guys.
Fantastic race.
And Pierre is going to get P9. Ninth from the last. That was a real good race for us. I'm real happy with that.
This was a breathtaking Grand Prix from Yuki Tsunoda and a well-deserved result. This was well-deserved for AlphaTauri. A solid weekend of racing.
They do say success breeds success, and I'm sure the team will be hoping that holds true.
And after this result, the team is fourth in the constructor standings.
Meet us next at the Marina Bay Circuit for a breathtaking race through the streets of Singapore.
Okay, so the end of a awesome race for us. Verstappen and Perez spoil Ferrari's day there with a 1-2. 4.5 seconds ahead of the Ferrari duo. Leclerc just getting in front of Carlos there by 1/10 of a second. Basically the exact same gap, right? Sergio Perez just over 1/10 behind Max, and Sainz just over 1/10 behind Charles. We are a bit further back, 34 seconds later, and we just beat George by just over 1/10. So the battles are pretty close, huh? Oh, Fernando ruined it. Fernando, you needed to halve that gap, buddy. That's alright. So Yuki comes home P5, George gets P6, Bottas P7, Alonso 8th, Pierre up 11 spots there from P20 to P9 and gets the bonus point for fastest lap, and Zhou Guanyu gets the final point for Alfa Romeo. Outside the points, Lewis Hamilton, a pretty ordinary day there for him. Really suffered at the end there when his tyres started going off. Ricciardo gets P12, Schumacher 13th, Lando up 5 spots to P14. Ocon had a pretty interesting day. He had a couple spins there. Back in 15th, Magnussen 16th. Vettel, Stroll, Albon and Latifi were the only 4 guys a lap down. Everybody else was on the lead lap. Drivers' Championship, Charles takes the lead back. He's up by 3 points on Sainz as we head to Singapore, I think is the next race. Verstappen pulls out 7 points on Perez there. Pierre closes down Lewis only by 3 points. George makes up a bit of ground on Pierre, but he's still 26 points behind. Fernando still P8. Ocon 9th, Valtteri in P10, and Yuki still P11. I think he's just going to stay P11 all year now. It's going to be crazy. No one new scored any points. We got both Williams, Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel have not scored points. Everybody else has. Constructors, we managed to pull out a bit of a edge on Alpine there. We gained 9 points on them. We also gained 5 on Mercedes, but I think our fight is no longer with the German brand there. I think we are going to be challenging the French team for P4. Alpha gain a little bit of ground on Alpine as well, 3 points, but I don't think they're going to be able to close down that. They're, 45 points behind them and about 70 behind us. Yeah, that's a bit of a tough ask, I think, for Alpha. McLaren and Haas don't score any points, so they stay where they are. Aston stay there, and Williams are stuck in last. Finances, we make just under 2.7 mil. We had a lot of the bonuses paid out there, so I was pretty happy with that. I don't know if we need to get a new engine and gearbox, not gearbox, engine and ERS for Yuki yet. I think he's still going pretty good. Okay, so where are we going to put this point into Yuki? He probably still needs better defending, but overall he needs more pace, doesn't he? I'm just going to go into more pace. Oh, there you go. His overall rating has increased. He's now 78 overall. Sweet. Good job, Yuki. Pretty happy with that. Once again, Patrick Stafford is saying that Dario Franchitti is exceeding expectations as the boss of AlphaTauri. Fantastic race, and their confidence in us as a leader has grown. Excellent. Right, let's see what we got here. The regulation vote results for the change in the financial situation. Majority are against, so it's not going to pass. It was just us, Haas, and Ferrari voted for it. Everybody else was against it. Okay, that's fine. Not going to be a huge deal for us. Extra 5 mil, so that does mean we can probably go after a slightly better driver for next year. So I've been thinking maybe we should go after either Teo Porcher or Jack Doohan, because they are young and have like a high growth potential. But maybe we should go after someone a bit more experienced, like an Alex Albon or something like that, right? He'll probably be a bit better than what Yuki is, but also be a bit more expensive. We can still worry about that later on. We got Singapore in 18 days, so we don't have to worry about anything right now. We got a bunch of stuff that is coming up to being completed. We got 3 of our manufacturing projects, the chassis, front wing, and side pods. We also have a new design on the suspension coming up. Now that is the one part of this car that we've not actually done a design for. You remember we got that for free essentially right at the start of the series. The team had already developing that thing, so we didn't actually touch that. We'll be able to see how that goes, and we should have that on in time for Singapore. So that'll be pretty exciting. The research project is still ongoing. So I think that will be it for this episode. So join us next time as we head off to Singapore for one of the last night races of the year. I think we've got, that's probably the last night race actually, isn't it? Because Abu Dhabi starts in the evening or before sunset and then goes on into the night, whereas Marina Bay is purely at night. We also have to think about when to take Yuki's new parts, his new engine and ERS, or even if he needs it. He may not need it. He might be able to go the rest of the season on what he currently has. But I'm thinking he probably will need a little bit of help there. We just got to figure out which race would be best for him to take that penalty. Pierre's fine. We are looking all good for him. He's already got his 2 things out of the way. Question's going to be whether or not that final gearbox can make the remaining 6 races. Will be a question that will get answered reasonably soon, I suppose. But that's going to be it for today. So I will catch you next time for the Singapore Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have an awesome day. Like, subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.